Hi, my name is Makalani, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this gorgeous ribbed edge using front and back post double crochet. This ribbed edge is surprisingly easy to make, and it's perfect for adding a cute edge to sweaters and leg warmers and more. I will be demonstrating how to make this edge on the Jasmine Leg Warmers, but you can do this on whatever project you like. Let's dive in.
Let's start by having a closer look at the leg warmer. Here is the ribbed edge that we're going to make with alternating front and back post double crochets. And the main part is worked in the round with the Jasmine Stitch using a 3mm hook and blown yarn. You can use blown yarn from different companies. You can see it has a super light structure that's really great for the Jasmine Stitch. You can use, for instance, Air from Drops Design. If you want to learn how to work the Jasmine Stitch in the round like we've done on this leg warmer, you can learn that in the pattern, which I've linked to below, or you can have a look at my YouTube tutorial how to work the Jasmine Stitch in the round that I'll also link to below. Okay, let's get started on the ribbing. The ribbed edge has about 10 stitches in 10 centimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the same in 4 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to make that happen, we're gonna need to work with 2 strands of yarn held together and a much larger hook than what we did on the main part. For the Jasmine Stitch part, we used the 3mm hook, and for the ribbed edge, you might even need to use a 7mm to get the right stitch tension. Thing is though, we're gonna work the first round of the ribbed edge into the top here, and these flower centers are nice and small. That means that you might not be able to get a 7mm hook through here, so we're gonna start with a smaller one. We're gonna start with a 5mm hook for the first round. We are going to work the first double crochet of the ribbed edge into a petal, and we're gonna fasten it over a few of the loops that the petal is made up of. So you just insert your hook through the loop like this. To start, you can either fasten the yarn to this one and chain 2 and make that be your first double crochet, or you can do a standing double crochet, which I'm going to demonstrate. So start by getting your yarn. Remember, you're working with 2 strands of yarn together, and then you make a slip knot like you always do when you start your work, placing it onto your hook. Now you've got your slip knot on the hook, and you're going to make the first double crochet into this petal here. So wrap the yarn around the hook and see how I stabilize it with my finger here. Then insert the hook into the petal and get the yarn. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook like you do on every kind of normal double crochets. So get the yarn, pull through the first loops, get the yarn and pull through the 2 second loops. You have now made your first double crochet of the ribbed edge, and it's a standing double crochet. You can see that with the fact that the slip knot is placed here and the yarn comes out from the top of the stitch. Now we're ready to make the next double crochet. So this entire first round is made of just double crochets. So yarn over, insert the hook through the flower center that's coming up, get the yarn, and finish the double crochet like you always do. Now you've made the first 2 double crochets, one in the petal and one in the flower center. And you're going to keep working double crochets all the way around your work. So let's make the next double crochet together as well. Insert it through a few loops of the petal, get the yarn, and complete your double crochet. Now we've got 3. Again, yarn over, insert through the flower center, get the yarn, and complete your stitch. I want you to think about working these double crochets really loosely. As we mentioned earlier, you actually want to be building this ribbed edge with a thicker hook, but working the ribbed edge with a 7mm hook is going to be really hard, because if your flower centers are nice and neat and small like here, it's going to be almost impossible to insert a hook this large through here. That's why we're working the first round with a smaller hook. To get the ribbed edge right, you're probably gonna have to check your stitch tension a few times. But the stitch tension on the first round is not gonna be the same as on the other rounds of the ribbed edge, because these are not alternating front and back post double crochets as we will be making later. So for this round, just try and get even stitches that don't tighten and also don't loosen a lot compared to the Jasmine work that you've made so far. And then work that all the way around your work, and I'll meet you on the other side. We have now worked double crochets all the way around the work. We've fastened one in every flower center and one in every petal. And this means that you should have twice as many double crochets as you had horizontal petals along the edge of your work. Now we're going to finish the round by making a slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet, like this. Now we're going to start round 2, and that is the first one with alternating front and back post double crochets. And we start that round by changing to a 7mm hook and chaining 2. These 2 chains are going to become a back post double crochet, or it's going to represent that. And the first stitch we're going to make now is a front post double crochet into this stitch here. When you make a front post double crochet, you insert the hook below the double crochet. So you do not insert it under these stitches like you normally do under the front and back loop, but under the entire double crochet. You get the yarn through there. Now you have 3 loops like you always do, and you can finish your loop in the regular way. So that is our first front post double crochet. Now we're going to make the first back post double crochet. And then you need to look behind your work, and we're going to insert the hook from the back around like this. You see, it's just the opposite of what we did with the front post. You're going to get the yarn. Now you have 3 loops, and we finish like we always do. Now we have 1 front post double crochet and 1 back post double crochet. Let me show you again. A front post double crochet, insert the hook below the entire double crochet, get the yarn, and finish your double crochet like you always do. And then we do the same, but from the back. You can already see that we're getting a really thick and nice structure here with alternating bumps and valleys in between. I'll show you one more time. Yarn over. This is the front post double crochet. You get the yarn below the double crochet from the last round, and now we make a back one. Insert from the back below the double crochet, get the yarn, and complete the double crochet. Now continue this all the way around, and I'll meet you on the other side. Now we have worked alternating back post double crochets and front post double crochets all the way around our work, and the last stitch is a front post double crochet. The first stitch of the round was a back post double crochet, but actually just 2 chain stitches. So we're going to finish the round by making a slip stitch to the top of these 2 chain stitches. So just pull it through, and now you've completed the first round with alternating front and back post double crochets. Now we're going to check that our stitch tension is right. Get your tape measure, and remember we want 10 stitches and 10 centimeters. So place the tape measure on your work and then count stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. 10 stitches in 10 centimeters, and it's the same in inches. 10 stitches in 4 inches. If you did not get the right stitch tension, you can change your hook size and how tightly you work to get it perfect. If you have too many stitches in 4 inches or 10 centimeters, you can use a larger hook or work a little bit looser. And if you have too few stitches in 10 centimeters or 4 inches, you should use a smaller hook or work a little bit tighter. Just a little reminder, if you're enjoying this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so you're sure to catch all my coming Jasmine goodies. And
I've saved my very best tip for the end of the video, so be sure to stay until the end. Okay, let's dive back in.
Now we're moving on to round 3, which is also going to be alternating front and back post double crochet. And we start again by chaining 2. That's going to be our first back post double crochet. Then we make our first front post double crochet, just like we did on round 2, and our first back post double crochet. Notice how on the back post double crochets, the front and back loop that we usually work into lie on the front here. And if you turn your work, you're going to see that behind the front loop double crochets, the loops are behind here. Okay, so now we keep working alternating front post double crochet and alternating back post double crochet all the way around our work again. Now I've worked front and back loop double crochets all the way around the 3rd round, and as you can see, the ribbing is really happening here. And I recommend again that you check your stitch tension to see that you are working at the right tension. Now we're going to complete round 3 again by making a slip stitch to the top of the first 2 chains. That is our first back post double crochet. Now the work looks like this, and we're going to add 1 more round in the exact same way. We start by chaining 2, and this is our first back post double crochet. Then we make our first front post double crochet and our first back post double crochet. Then we keep working like this around our work, and then I'm going to show you how to finish the very last round. Now we've worked 4 rounds in total on the ribbed edge and 3 rounds with front and back post double crochet, and our ribbing is almost done. Now we're going to complete round 4 in a completely invisible way. To do that, get your scissors and cut the yarn. Then pull the loop on your hook all the way up so it comes out of this last stitch. Then get the yarn needle and thread it. This can be kind of a mess with blown yarn, but you'll get there. Just be patient. There we go. Okay. Now we've got our yarn. It's coming out from the last stitch, and we're going to sew below the front and back loop of the 2nd stitch of the round, this front post double crochet here. So find the loops, the ones you usually work under when crocheting, and insert the needle below both. Then you pull through, tighten a little bit, and now we're going to sew back down into the stitch the yarn is coming from, but only through the back loop. And pull through. When we tighten, you're going to see that this is now going to look just like all the other stitches along the top. You can just weave in the end, and we've completed the ribbing, but don't go, because I've got a really important tip for you before we finish off. On to my very best tip for keeping the leg warmers nice for a long time. I recommend that you use elastic sewing thread, stretchy sewing thread, to sew along the inside of the ribbing. Let me show you. I have thread my needle with the elastic thread, and I'm using double thread. I've fastened the sewing thread here, and now I'm going to sew below all the back post double crochets, since this is the inside of the work, around the ribbing. Be careful when you do this, it can easily become kind of a mess. And keep going all the way around your leg warmer. I recommend that you fasten the sewing thread a few times as you go, like I'm doing here. Just sew a few times at the same spot, and that is because the thread might break, and if you fasten the yarn or the thread a few times, it's not going to unravel all the way, then just a little bit is going to unravel. Then you keep going and sew like this all the way around your leg warmer. Now we're back where we started. We've worked all the way around, and now you can fasten the thread a little bit here, and then actually just keep going. Move up one row and then keep sewing around the leg warmer again. So when you do this, you get another row of elasticity just above the last one. Keep sewing around, and I recommend that you make maybe 3 or 4 rounds of elastic sewing thread around the inside of the leg warmer's ribbing, and remember to fasten a few times as you go. Doing this means that you're not going to lose the stretch, and it's going to stay nice for much longer.